Joining us now for all the royal news is Andrew Eborn, UK barrister and broadcaster and president of Octopus TV. Andrew, it's wonderful to see you again.
It's wonderful to join you all the way from Cannes this week.
Enjoy Cannes. Now, it is, of course, time for all the royal news, and we saw all the photographs of Meghan Markle in Paris at Fashion Week, with her feet up in a limo. But it's been revealed that Meghan Markle actually invited herself to this Paris Fashion Week show earlier this month. Now, the Balenciaga designer has claimed that she reached out and she said she would love to come to the show. I mean, Andrew, reading this, it does not surprise me.
Oh, no, it's always a delight, isn't it? Paolo Piccioli is his name, the wonderful, amazing, alliterative designer. And basically he revealed, well, she wasn't really invited. He sort of asked if she could come, and come she did. You might remember last week we were talking about that Zoolander moment where she was sort of trying to upstage everybody, that glorious Ben Stiller rather sort of throwback still see what we did there. But there was also this outrage, if you like, where she's driving around Paris with her feet up and eating her French fries and so on and so forth. And Harry himself, he said he was a bit upset about the comparison that some people were making about her, basically for Diana, who obviously died in the Pont d'Alma tunnel. You might remember on the 31st of August 1997. And they say there was a big backlash about that. And Harry was basically saying it was a massive stretch. It was never her intention to do that. She was nowhere near the tunnel. But certainly it does appear that she wasn't invited to Paris Fashion Week, but she did invite herself. And there she was.
Well, I'm sure it's not going to be the last time she'll be inviting herself to glamorous events. And then, of course, posting all about it. Here. Yes, of course.
Yes,
now, what's the latest here between Prince Harry and the royal family? Because, of course, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, there are reports now that they are working on a strategy or a peace deal, I suppose, with the royal family. Now, of course, they've been estranged from the firm for some time, but recently there's been this effort to forge a possible path to reconciliation. Is that going to happen? What's the latest here?
Well, I sincerely hope so. And as we predicted on this very show, Harry did meet with his father. I was delighted to see that. It was less than an hour. And Harry afterwards talked about these sort of dark forces leaking all sorts of stories about what gifts were given. And you might recall that he gave a photograph of his two children. Wasn't a picture of him and Meghan, but they worked on that sort of premise. But he's trying to build that bridge. He says his focus at the moment is his father, who, as we know, has cancer. So he wants to focus on him. In the meantime, all these sort of lip readers and body language experts are coming out and talking about how frosty the relationship is between Meghan and Princess Catherine. And they're looking at that sort of side. So it's quite extraordinary on that sort of basis. But I think Harry's trying to make the effort, certainly.
Well, there has been a bit of this analysis around when Meghan Markle and Princess Catherine's relationship became quite strained and when that became pretty clear. What do you make of it? Do we know when Princess Catherine kind of went into self-preservation mode?
Well, this is what one of these sort of, they talk about these sort of body experts. They analyse every movement. Well, one of them, somebody called Judy James, the wonderful Judy James, she had a look at the sort of body language, and she was saying that this is what Princess Catherine was trying to do. She was sort of turning away in these particular moments, trying to sort of distance herself in that thing. And as you say, it was that sort of self-preservation mode. I don't want to be too close to Meghan Markle to endorse her in any way. But it seems to be frostier and frostier on that sort of basis. But I do think the media are sort of obviously making sure that that sort of rivalry continues, where Princess Catherine's getting some great publicity and Meghan Markle continues with her megalomania, as we say.
Well, Meghan Markle has shared a photograph of Lilibet, and this was in an Instagram post shared in honour of International Day of the Girl, rather. She wrote, "To all the girls, this world is yours. Do everything you can to protect your rights. Use your voice, support each other. We will do the same for you. It's your right and our responsibility. Go get 'em, girl." Andrew, what did you make of this post?
Well, go get him, girl. Absolutely. She seems to be using her children yet again to curry favour. And we often, the good thing is she always sort of turns the children so they don't get a full face
Yes.
showing on that sort of basis. So you only see this shock of red hair just to prove that Harry is the father. And you work on that sort of basis. And they work on that thing. But yes, yet again, they've been trotted out. It's a good message, though. And that's what I like about it. Go get them, girl. Powerful for women and so on and so forth. But this is what she's certainly doing on that sort of basis.
All right, well, Prince William and Princess Catherine, they're in the spotlight for their approach as modern royals. Because, of course, over the years, we've seen Prince William and Princess Catherine kind of try to give their children more of a normal upbringing. You know, they're regularly spotted doing the school run, and they've said they prefer kind of more modern parenting to a traditional royal approach. What's your assessment of how they're kind of transforming as modern royals?
Well, I think it's great, and we touched on this last time we spoke about they've banned any telephones, so you can't have any sort of phones because they're too young for that sort of stuff. They take part in the pub quiz out in Windsor. They encourage them to jump up and down on trampolines, and they have those sort of wonderful fights, and they go for the walks in the countryside. So from a parenting point of view, they do try to make sure that they're not making the mistakes, and they talked about this very openly. They're not going to make the mistakes that they suffered, Harry and William suffered during their childhood. So they're trying to get involved with them as much as possible. They do say at the end of every day, they want to have at least sort of one meal together so you can unpack what's happened during the day. And I have to say, it's a great parenting lesson for everybody. Jaw, not war, war is the way of sort of encouraging people to speak about that sort of side. But encouraging people to go out in the countryside rather than being stuck on their mobile phone has got to be a good thing.
Yes, no phones at the dinner table. A time for speaking to one another. That was a great message from Prince William.
Yeah.
Now, on World Mental Health Day, the Royal Foundation of the Prince and Princess of Wales launched the National Suicide Prevention Network, which of course aims to transform suicide prevention in the UK, I should say. Now, what did Prince William have to say on this issue?
Well, it's very, very important. He was very emotional when he met a number of people who've been affected by suicide. And in the UK alone, the statistics are harrowing. About 7,055, I think, were reported in the UK in the last year. And what he's saying is that you have to understand the causes of suicide, what's actually causing them, to try and prevent it on that sort of basis. So over £1 million has been invested to basically encourage people to look at the causes and to try and prevent on that sort of basis. But I always like it when people in the public eye, and I often say this on my show, we have lots of very famous people will come on and talk about their own struggles with mental health. And I want us to be the generation that talks about mental health so the next generation doesn't suffer the stigma. So all credit to the Prince and Princess of Wales for this particular initiative.
Absolutely, affects everyone. Now, Buckingham Palace has announced that the President of Germany will be visiting the UK later this year. The visit by the President will be the first German state visit to the UK in 27 years. Andrew, what can we expect from this?
Oh, we can expect more pomp and ceremony, and it's going to take place down in Windsor Castle, which I'll probably go down on your behalf and make sure we get a good view. But it's going to be there about the 3rd to the 5th of December. Those are the dates he's going to be coming over. And it's the first time, as you say, in 27 years. And these state visits, they do them so well. We gloriously looked after President Trump when he was here, that pomp and circumstance. But also lots of trade deals tend to be done during this time. It's all a good moment for diplomacy. Charles and Camilla went over to Germany fairly recently, in fact, in March 2023, and they basically came back with deals on that sort of basis, talking about a bridge to be built between the countries and so on and so forth. And I think the London-Berlin Bridge, as they call it, that's what's going to happen as a result of that particular visit. But you can expect more political posturing, if you like, but also wonderful rolling out the red carpet. It's what we do superbly well on that sort of basis. And as I say, I'll be out there.
Oh, brilliant.
Making sure that I represent you so well. It's
Thank you, covering it all for us. Now, we have to talk about Prince Andrew. I know we've spoken about him before, but his reputation has taken another blow with reports that he was in contact with Jeffrey Epstein for much longer than he previously claimed. Now, there are suggestions it's time for him to be exiled. Andrew, what do you think the King should do here?
Well, he's already doing a lot of it. You might remember we talked about the internal battles that went on with Prince William being very embarrassed about seeing him at the Duchess of Kent's
Mm.
funeral and wanting to distance himself. He made sure he was banished from playing Monopoly at Christmas, indeed banished totally from attending Christmas. So he's sort of working on that sort of premise. He's going to be more and more sidelined. And I think more and more of these revelations have come out. We heard about Fergie and her various relationships with Epstein, and how she first of all distanced herself, but then wrote back saying what a special friend he was because she was a bit scared that he might sue her. It seems to have come out on that sort of basis. But it's embarrassing for the king, as he often says, look, it's his brother, what can he do? Well, this is what he's trying to do, is distance himself from Prince Andrew on that basis.
And can we have a little chat about what King Charles is really doing to usher a new era for the royal family? It's been written up that he's, of course, led the royal family, and he's been starting to instigate some important changes within the constitution. How's he doing this?
Well, he's doing a number of things. He wants to modernise the royalty. It always used to be neither confirm nor deny. You keep stum about internal life. When all that went to the dogs, didn't it? When Harry started writing about spare and using the media in a particular way. So they're all over the place, aren't they? And I love that. Obviously, Prince William is doing the Netflix side as well. So Charles is absolutely modernising it. The other thing he's doing is he's going to change these things, these passports that we have. So apparently he's going to be doing a new one, which is going to have his personal coat of arms on it. It's also going to have 4 iconic places. So Ben Nevis Lake District, the Three Cliffs Bay, and also the Giant's Causeway is going to be featured in these new passports. So interesting stuff. And it's going to be the most secure ever. This is what they're claiming. So it's very interesting what he's doing. He's trying to reach out more and more to the people. He's trying to be far more relatable on that basis. And certainly, I think, as we've seen, Prince William's following in his footsteps and trying to give a peek beneath the kimono in terms of what it's like to be a royal. And life is actually really, really ordinary to a certain extent. They suffer the same trials and tribulations that we all suffer, but trying to connect in a better way with the people, which again has got to be a good thing.
Andrew Eborn, you are all over it for us, bringing us all the different angles and all the latest news. We appreciate it so much. UK barrister and broadcaster and president of Octopus TV, Andrew Eborn, thank you so much for joining us.
An absolute pleasure as always. See you next week.